Greenwood Stocks, looking at some stocks to watch and market recaps so that you can see what's going on, what the next plays are, and how to make more money. So right now we're just looking at a couple of stocks. Actually got quite a few today. The market's running. You got big indexes, including the SPY, making more all-time highs. The NASDAQ more all-time highs. It just continues to go. So there's no limit. Although small caps are down, they are completely sold off. Lots of them on some of them are bouncing on trendline support. So we're going to look at those and see what is a good avenue and a good approach, a good strategy to make money off these undervalued small cap stocks. So what do you want to talk about first?
Yeah, I say one of my favorite plays I've been watching mostly late last week and this week has been Wish. And I like this play just because it sold off pretty hard. And I feel like it bottomed out around 614. There are a lot of big time traders on social media that were pumping the stock before. And so obviously it continued to go down. So I feel like they're stuck in it. And something that really catches my attention about Wish is the fact that there are tons of institutions holding. And at these levels, institutions aren't getting stopped out. They're either holding what they got or they're buying more. So, and once it bottomed out at 614, it bounced. So I've been trading. I've been more in and out, selling the strength and then buying back into weakness. But 614 was the low. I mean, it ran up. I remember 614 all the way up to 7, right at 750, 760ish. Then pulled back a little bit, back into the 680s, and then now it's back up. Today it ran back up to around 670ish, and it's right at resistance. So I think tomorrow is going to be key to see if we can break and stay past 780 or so. I think we can fill a gap from that point. But the main thing I'm watching for this is it has a pretty nice gap to fill, and the way the trend that I see, I mean, it's setting up, to be able to break out and go ahead and fill that gap.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is buying stocks that are undervalued, buying on support. So, I mean, it's okay to get stocks that have some momentum, but you really want to get undervalued assets, real companies, real model, real revenue, real earnings. And so when you get these stocks, I mean, you're looking at, especially consumer, the consumer retail, these different brands are, they have a big online presence, so they're almost recession proof, quote, so to speak. They have a model, they have internet, online shopping and things like that. So Wish, I was talking to a buddy of mine, you can basically buy anything off there. So while everything was going down when everything got crazy a couple of years ago, Amazon's, the online giants, they got the consumer cyclicals is what I was referring to earlier. They just got richer and richer. So basically, you want to get something that is undervalued. Now, of course, you have to get in while the stock is down, and that way you can see a lot more value in ROI. But from a stock that IPO'd around $30 and sells off to $7, and you got lots of institutions holding, then that's never going to be a bad play to make, especially, like I said, if it's a real company, they got real earnings, they got millions and millions of revenue, then you're just not going to be going wrong putting your money in with smart money. So I wanted to talk about a little bit the power of green candlesticks. So before I get into that, I'm just going to go back through some examples. We're talking about TCATs. So before, the thing that I saw, I mean, if you look at all these patterns, 3 green candlesticks, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4. At some point, the market is basically showing you that, hey, we like this stock. we're getting in, we're loading, and we're waiting on everybody else to recognize that. And you see from 8 to 74, it blows up. Same thing that happened with GameStop when we traded the second time. Of course, the first time, 1, 2, 3. So $50 all the way to 480 from the green candlestick pattern, and 3 green candlestick pattern. And then this is when I got in the second time around 139, 138, when I saw the support being built on the 3rd green candlestick. I actually got in on the 4th green candlestick and bought at 139, sold at 318 when it pulled back really hard. So that's another example. And so, the same thing on Wish. If you just look at what's been going on, look at that. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 green candlesticks. So at some point, with this volume continuing to come in, 30 million shares plus, you're going to see eventually, like you always do, a big spike, just like we did back in June when we went from $7, which is the level that we are now, all the way up to 15. So you're playing options, you're going to make about 2,000, 3,000%, and it's going to be a good day. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Look at these green candlestick holding support. A and Y bought a call based on this, and if you look at it, just look at previous patterns, 1, 2, 3, 280, and then boom, you get a nice move up. So when you're slowly moving up day by day, that just means the market is primed and ready. It's waiting for confirmation. And here, I like to talk about breakout levels. So if you just look at where this is at, look at this cup and handle, all you have to do is you can just see where the resistance was before. So you got right here, right around the $4 mark. Okay. You got a $4 mark. And I always like to look at long-term resistance. So you see this long-term resistance, and once it broke it, 4 all the way to 650, pull back, and now the second long-term resistance, semi-long-term resistance, right around 5. You can see we broke it and we retraced. That's the most important thing. You get to retrace this support. This resistance needs to become support, and you see we bounced off this former resistance, and now we can go up. So ran just a little bit after hours, I believe. So we should be looking at a good day because the volume is expanding. There's been a lot of stocks that haven't been traded at all, and they're just going crazy. So again, 3 green candlesticks, boom, boom, boom. And then we go from 9 cents all the way to $5. So just look for this very strong pattern. You get some up and down moves if a stock is not going to cooperate. But once you see green day after green day after green day, and it's not moving a whole lot, at some point it's going to come out the consolidation. So you got any other stocks to look at?
Yeah, the other play that I was watching today was CEI. And what brought this play to my attention is that it was one of the top gainers and it had extremely unusual volume. It was up, I want to say, around 30%. And normally I really don't like buying plays once they've ran that much, just because I like to buy on support or buy in the weakness. But it actually pulled back. To some support around 65 cents, towards the end of the day. So I was able to get in that, and I ended up selling in the strength after hours. But I'm going to be watching tomorrow morning too, because it closed probably 10% higher after hours. So I'm going to be looking maybe for a gap up, because the next level of the next strong resistance is going to be at 81 cents. So I'm going to be watching for that level. But yeah, this is one of those classic plays. Ran, pulled back, but the volume was coming in so much that, I mean, it was on my radar, and I felt like it was a high probability setup. But I was patient and wait to get some kind of pullback before I jumped in. It ended up paying off today.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Archon. Oil and gas is still going down. It's not looking good, but you see Archon getting some volume. I wanted to jump in this before. I saw it a couple of days ago, and you can see it start to get volume. You got 2 million shares, 4 million shares, another 2 million shares a day. So again, these moving averages are menaces for stocks because they just become resistant. So it's gonna need to break out of 340, but I'll be playing options on these. So it's very simple. I actually put in an order today, but the bid didn't get filled. So I'll just have to hit the ask and see if it's going to go ahead and make a move. But I mean, you see that again, these stocks, they are in the same sector a lot of the time. So pull up my energy. Can you see that screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean, so you got Archon, you got CEI, you got BORR. All of these plays are green. So, and then also you have these plays for oil and gas. Everybody's reporting good because oil is up. Remember, at the beginning of the year, oil was trading, it went negative, and then oil was trading around $30-$40, and now it's trading almost $70 now. So you got to realize these companies are making a lot more money than they were. And so, yeah, oil and gas almost has to be ready to explode at some point. I'm looking at New Concept Energy. At some point, they're going to go off. But yeah, just got to be patient with oil. Oil is the trickiest sector. Oil and energy is the trickiest sector that I have seen. Once they heat up, they go. But you just never know when they're going to go. So MTRT, another wild play, up 500%, but overall even more than that, way over 1,000%. So just got to be in tune with the market every day. Look at what's running, look at what pops. I mean, if you were paying attention to this, you could see the stock not trading at all, and then it goes from absolutely no volume to 138,000 shares. Pops to 1 million shares at the end of the trading day. Looks like Monday, and continue to pop. So you just see the sustained volume. You got 1 million here, you got 1 million here, you got 1 million here, 500,000, 1 million over the first couple hours, first hour today. And so, I mean, that's going to tell the story. So anytime a stock, it has not traded or has literally no volume previously, watch out, because it's probably going to make a big move, because now at some point there's a brand new sentiment. The market thinks totally different about it. And that shows up on the tape, and it shows up on level 2 in time and sales. So we had quite a few. RKLY. This was another stock that almost had no volume traded, 300K, and then it just went off. And FCUV was a big one today as well. Again, look at this, not even being traded, 11,000 shares. So we go from 2,500 shares to 800 shares to 11,000. And then we get 1.4 million yesterday. So the way you could play this is the day that it gets the most amount of volume. Once it passes that daily high, which would be right there at $7, you can pretty much buy, because it's not running up for no reason. So yeah, and on the hour chart, I mean, this even ran pre-market. It ran pre-market, pulled back. The next thing you know, from 12 all the way to 5. Again, that's a big discount. You know, look at all of the small cap stocks that have sold off. You got TCAT and NFT play. So the NFTs are going nuts, and you top out at $74. Now the stock is at $5. I mean, it's a no-brainer to pull the trigger, because you see the lowest is going 5 here, right at 5, mid 4s here. So I mean, you're risking very little to get, you know, a nice return. So again, we got the 3 green candlesticks, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And from 7 all the way to 14. So that's 100% return just by paying attention to these green candlesticks. So that's pretty much it. NFTs are warming up still. You have oil and gas, energy warming up, and then one more bankruptcy play. WPG. We don't know what's going to happen with this. Of course, it's a mall, it's a property, so hey, it's high risk, high reward at this point. But we know that bankrupt stocks have done pretty good recently, SQBG being one of them. So, and we actually tweeted about this once it gapped down from 14 all the way to $4 yesterday. Trying to find a good entry, couldn't, because I thought it was going to go lower, and I mean, it just blasted off today. So yeah, scan the market. You'll find a great deal. Be patient and execute whenever you get your pitch. So it's pretty much all we got. Anything else?
Yeah, just to reiterate what you're saying. I mean, patience is key in this market, and never have fear of missing out, because I realized on most plays, even if I feel like I've sold out premature, there's always an opportunity to get right back in that play. Especially with these NASDAQ stocks. I mean, they run hard, but they also pull back just as hard. So never be trading with the mindset that you've let something get away. Either move on to the next one or be patient and wait for that perfect entry.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it any better. I mean, just like Wish, you know, Wish, we bought in at $6 or $6.80 or something like that. It ran and took off to 740 yesterday, and then it took off to 740 again the day before. And so today, if even if you think you missed the entry, you get a dip all the way to $7 when the market opens, and then it runs to 775. So, you know, you're always going to be in position to get back in these trades on the NASDAQ. If not, just move on. You know, there's thousands of stocks that you can look at, and there's always a better play than the play that you are feeling like you're missing out on. So yeah, always be patient. With the NASDAQ, it's going to dip you, period. I mean, you look at FCUV, there's no way that you can trade these stocks without taking profits and being patient and waiting on dips. You see it even just going from when the market opens from $5 all the way to 15, and then it gaps down to 9, then it runs all the way up to 15, and then it pulls back to 12, and then it runs up to 24, and then it pulls all the way back down to 15. So you're just going to have to be buying dips. I mean, think about all the opportunities. I like to get in I like to get on either get in on the first one or just I always wait to the big sell-off. And then if it creates support, then you know that you got a good stock. So right here from $9 to 24, you had an opportunity at 9, had another opportunity at 12, had another opportunity at 15, had another opportunity at 16, and then now we went all the way up to 30. So if you're patient buying dips and not chasing it, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different entries before it took off. So be patient. Greenwood Stocks signing out. If you got any questions, email, text. You can always send us a DM on social media as well, and we will see you next time. God bless.